Okay. This is Mick Fazz, infamous lead singer of Critical Mass. How you doing, Mick?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. What would you like to ask me tonight?
Well, I'd like to ask you, all right, you were the first band to get a major record deal out of the South Florida.
That and 99 cents gets me a donut at 7-Eleven now, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah.
How did that happen?
Sent out tapes.
Yeah.
Sent out a bunch of tapes. A guy from RCA Records, Lee Arnold, heard the tape, liked it, and said, we want to get you guys signed. Okay. And it was just a natural progression, you know. Hooked us up with Lee Abrams as a producer, and you know, just things, like I said, progressed. They sent out the tapes, brought us up to New York for a showcase. MCA came up with the most money, and 2 days later, it was really simple, you know. Just a question of getting the tape to the right guy.
Okay.
You can send out 50 friggin' tapes. Right. If the right guy hears it, then you get luck.
Yeah. So it's a little bit, you need talent and luck, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of luck.
Yeah. I don't know so much about the talent part, but the luck part, yes.
So, now you recorded your album over in London, or in England, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
They flew us out there. Yeah. And at first, you know, when you're 23 years old, it's like, we're going to London, we're going to London.
Right.
Little did I know that the expense was going to eat away all the front money that we got. Right. You know? So, I mean, at the time, in retrospect, now that I'm an old man, would say, we should have stayed in Miami and recorded.
Right.
Could have went home and not spent money for 6 weeks in hotels and rental cars and things like that. But I don't think I would trade those times for anything, you know?
Yeah. Me too. Those are the best times.
I'm doing an interview with Greg. Not funny. We'll have sex later. Shut up. Go ahead. What? No, hit me with another question.
Okay. So you're the main writer of the band? You write all the music, correct? Okay. Well, how did the song 1964? I like that song a lot. I know that's kind of inspiration to look back.
Well, because I was so influenced by when the Beatles were on that Ed Sullivan show.
Right.
You know, I said, let's write a song about it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So after you got recorded, now you were recording with Chris Squire or Chris Squire Studio?
He used Chris Squire's studio, and it was Yes's house sound man that did the engineering.
Okay.
But Lee Abrams, who was a radio consultant, was involved in the whole process. So he had a studio venture, and they brought us out there, and that was what we did.
Now let's talk about Lee Abrams a little bit. I spoke to Neil Mursky, and I basically asked him, what happened, because the record was really good, and he basically, maybe you can enlighten me on this, but he basically told me because Lee Abrams was your consultant, that the record label thought that's a good thing, we'll be able to get the record
it's because
played.
He was our producer.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that he was consulting radio stations,
right.
There was two things: a conflict of interest for radio stations playing that song, or our record,
right.
And then the people who didn't use him, that used other companies for consulting, and say, well, we're not going to put money in his pocket. Right. So it was a double-edged sword that worked against us in that regard. Plus, you got to remember, man, a lot of new wave bands really didn't break all that big.
Right.
There weren't any arena bands. There was a few. The Ramones were real big. There was a few, but many of those underground punk bands from England really, really, really went over the top.
Right. Even the Sex Pistols did, right?
We sold out of our first pressing. I mean, they sold out. They just didn't make any more. And there was a big change of hands at MCA. And plus, the record sucked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a true artist. Always be objective. But record was. I thought it was really good.
Hang on. What?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, God damn.
Is that Pat?
No, you're not getting my debit card.
Oh my God.
Hello? They don't take debit cards at the crack stands. Hello? Okay.
Jesus, Mick, you got quite a fan club over here.
No, just one person.
So, when you got back into the States, did you tour? Did you do any touring?
Yeah, we toured the Southeast. They put us on a tour.
Okay.
Went up through Atlanta, up to Alabama, and went to Memphis and everything. So it's pretty cool. No, we didn't tour like I wanted to. It didn't happen like I wanted to. I don't know whether it was a money thing or just political nonsense, but for whatever reason, we didn't tour. I thought we were going to be perpetually on the road, and it wasn't to what my expectations were.
Right, you expected to go on to bigger and better things, right? Yeah, which is a normal expectation.
Selling frame refrigerators and stoves at 53.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, now, you recently, a couple of years ago, did a show, the Sheila Wicken show. How was that?
That was great.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, everything that I've ever wanted to do was done in that night.
Right.
A big venue, packed, gazillion people, and the crowd went bringing cuckoo.
Not to mention,
it was a good gig. You were there.
Yeah, and they made,
you were great.
Yeah.
You were great.
I loved it. I loved your show, man. It was good. You kicked ass, man. You stole the show that night, as far as I'm concerned.
Look, stop. I'm not saying that now. I'm not going to say it. You're my baby, Mookie Bookie. Please stop. God.
Well, you gotta, what can you do, man? They'll tell, about the South Florida scene back then. When did Critical Mass, what year did they get signed? When did you guys get signed?
We got signed in 79.
Okay. And were you signed before the Cichlids or after the Cichlids? You don't know? Okay.
Who's the Cichlids?
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
What did you think about the scene back then? Because, for the time before that, a little before, in Florida, you had to be a cover band to play anywhere.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, through Robert Mascaro, he opened up some doors for people to play original music in these clubs.
Right.
How did you think? What did you think about that period of time?
I thought it was great because most bands that had a creative, thing going on didn't have to get up there and play other people's stuff if we didn't want to.
Right.
It was great when you were packing clubs that had lines going around buildings,
Right.
and they're there to hear your stuff and to see you. And you're not doing 5 sets a night, and you don't have the club owner going, 40 minutes on, 40 minutes on,
Right.
It was great. So, I mean, all across the board. And there were a lot of good bands, like the Cichlids, like whoever else, like you guys.
Yeah, you guys.
Now,
you had a good name.
Nicotines. No. Kidding, Dave.
I named Tar and the Nicotine. I was in Tar and the Nicotine. Okay, we're not even going to go down that road.
Just kidding.
Okay, no, we know Dave. Dave's a good guy. Let me see. What are some of the bands back then that you liked? Local bands that were, that you were playing along with.
None.
None. That's great. All right. Well said.